Howdy y'all, it's Patrick Lawler, and I'm excited to show you a BTS breakdown of my latest music video for Nik Nocturnal and Paula Carregosa. I think this is one of the most realistic remote music videos I've ever done, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. I'm going to show you how I did it because I have no secrets. Huge props to Black Card Films for filming this all and absolutely nailing the lighting. So I started out with 5 green screen shots, 3 wides and 2 mediums. I keyed them with Vranos composite brush. I like this a lot more than Red Giant's keyer because it's not a subscription and it works just as well. I hate subscriptions. Next, I add a key cleaner and an advanced spill suppressor to get rid of the green spill. And here's where I think I do things differently than pretty much everyone else out there. I key the entire shot, like the whole thing. I end up with keyed clips that are the full duration of the song. Before I even think about editing, I do all the visual effects first, which I know is crazy, but hear me out. I program my camera moves now using a very simple line of code called the wiggle. The first number is the speed and the second number is the amount of wiggle. I put wiggles on camera position and orientation to get movement that I don't have to manually program. The wiggle will keep things moving randomly forever for as long as the sequence is. Next, I use one of my oldest and favorite plugins called Optical Flares. This plugin has 2 incredibly powerful features that I've only just started using in conjunction with each other. The first feature is one where I can automatically track these lens flares to point lights that I've distributed throughout the scene in 3D space. The second is setting a foreground obfuscation layer, so every time Nik or Paula crosses in front of the light will turn off. This looks awesome when they headbang and rock out. You can see this work especially well in the silhouette shot where I have the front key light turned off. Next, I placed a ton of point lights in a circle around them and tried to emulate a circle dolly track, which is one of my favorite things to do in real life on real music videos. But RJ, my dolly grip, hates me for this, so I'm always trying to do my circle dolly tracks virtually now so he doesn't get dizzy. I love you, RJ. So I start orbiting Nik and Paula in 3D space with the camera, but we run into a pretty serious problem. They're flat. When we circle around them, they start to look like pieces of paper, and this isn't realistic at all. So I came up with a really sneaky solution, and that is auto-orienting the 2D layers to face the camera at all times. You can see the performance in the rain overlays here, spinning to match the movement of the camera while the light stays still. The best part about this is no one I've shown this to has noticed that they're always facing the camera while I'm moving in a circle. Pretty fun. Next, I duplicated a whole bunch of the lights all over to make things super chaotic, and I rendered out full-length performance takes again, but now with visual effects. Usually my full renders take about 8 hours per shot, but since I don't actually have any like machine learning backgrounds going on this or like real crazy 3D things that I've built, some of them only took about 25 minutes, which is crazy. By exporting full clips, it gives me the freedom to pick shots based on the camera movement and allows me to make changes later on if Nik wants to extend, shorten, or completely lose a shot. Now that all the VFX shots are rendered, I'm doing the edit of the video. I watched the first clip and I cut out the pieces I love, mostly big impacts or shots where I feel they look the most badass. I have every take stacked on top of each other and turn them on line by line as I work on them until I end up with a full video cut. Every time I do one of these videos, I get faster and better at this, and it's really fun for me. To add an extra layer of realism, I used some old lens flare elements that I had that I've never really liked before because they looked a little too handheld for me, but they ended up working absolutely perfect on this video, and this is why I'm a data hoarder and save every single file that I've ever had. For some finishing touches, I love adding film simulation. This is a new plugin I've been playing with called Dehancer that does fantastic film grain and other effects like halation. I'm a huge halation slut right now because I've been shooting a ton of photography on film, and that's one of the things that film does differently than digital. And so here's me turning it on and off again so you can see what it's doing to the image. And here it is on some text so you can really tell what's going on. If you go look at any of my recent videos, you can see I've been turning this up way too high. I'm in a process of training myself to turn it down a little bit and not go so overboard, but I just love it so much. Combining the film simulation with these lens flare overlays really seals the whole thing together and makes it look pretty sick and quite close to what a real video shot with real lights would look like. My favorite part of the video is when the lens flares really spill over on top of them and they start to disappear into the blooming light. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have as much fun with this stuff as I do.